Hello, I am back to recap a strange Survivor Rebels vs. Titans episode 5. So we start this episode with a confessional. Well, Scott got some content, and first of all, I'm extremely happy Scott finally got some more content because I don't like it when people get purpled, especially if they're fans or super fans of the show. Getting purpled is one of the worst things that can happen to you. And if you don't know what being purple means, essentially it means that you're not shown on screen. There's the whole reason it's called being purple is because in Survivor Nicaragua, which is a US season for Survivor, essentially this person called Callie was purpled. She was purpled and big time. And people called her Purple Callie, and it was this whole debacle. Deboggle, is that the right word? I don't know. Anyways, all you need to know is that there was some person, Callie, who was purple, and ever since people have been going around calling people saying that they've been purple left and right because of that. And being purple means that you're not shown there. So that's all you need to know. I understand I'm wearing Stark Industries from Marvel. I understand. Normally I'd be wearing a buff, but we're changing it up. We're continuing on with so Scott was talking about Sarah's birthday because it was Sarah's birthday when they woke up after tribal council, after Tobias went home. He also talks about how her snuggle buddy went home, which like, oh my god. The snuggle buddy, oh my god, I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, if I'm Tobias or Sarah or anyone watching from home, I'd be like, you guys called us the Cuddle Crew? That's what you guys were calling us behind our backs? Like, I wouldn't know what to think, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff where I'm like, I don't know how I think, but we can get into that in like a later deep dive. Anyways, what you need to know is everyone knows that Callie changed her vote from Alex to Tobias, which ends up sending Tobias home. It also sketches out her allies for literally no reason because people that Scott into a confessional and are like, why did she do that? Why did she randomly just like be it for no reason? So yeah, not great by Kelly. You don't want people who you're working with to be like, why is she going rogue? That's a bit dodgy. Kind of like the Rihanna and Kirby situation we had 2 episodes ago. Not great. Then we see Alex proceeds to get more screen time, and look, I've gotten to the point where normally by episode 4 or 5, it starts to become not obvious who the winner is, but there's a few standout candidates. But based on the Eddie, I'm yet to believe that Alex is the front runner of this season, and that Alex will end up winning this season. And I said that in my last recap as well. I said that I felt like Alex was getting more screen time. We're only hearing from Alex's perspective. And yeah, pretty much. Nothing's changed. We also see... Okay, so then it pans to the Titans tribe. Jaden and Winner do a duet, like, singing, like, vocally about, like, some fake Survivor song they made up. Alright, look. That's perfect for the TV show. But also, what the fuck are you doing? like if I'm one of the other people at the Titans camp, I would be like, what the fuck is going on in this tribe? Like, oh my god. And then I also think it was bad gameplay in the sense that they're being super public about how close Winner and Jane Winner are being super public about how close they are. And I think that's bad news. I think that's not what you want to be doing. And I understand it's just singing a little recital or you can do it, and I get that. And I get you're gonna be bored on the island, and there's 100 things you do on the island when you're bored. You sit, you make up fake songs, You play games at Twister, at Kelly. You do a lot of different things in that, and I get that. But these small little things might seem like small things right now, but long term, these are going to be things that could influence how people perceive you. And in Survivor and in the real world, well, mainly in Survivor, like, perception is reality. If people perceive that you are like unbreakable or super close to someone, that's going to be a problem if they want to vote you out, or if they you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be something that they're going to be able to keep hush hush forever. If people are going to be like, oh, they're obviously close, but at the same time, because they're obviously close, you can see the other side of it, which is, oh, people know they're like a package deal, or they're going to be a package deal. So if you get one of them on side, you're most likely to get both of them. And I know I'm talking a lot about Jaden and Winner when Nathan and Jaden were in that trio with Frankie, like the type brawny three, as Jess likes to put it. But the way I see it is, what is the story that Eddie is trying to show us? The story is not about Nathan and Jaden on Titans. It's about Jaden and Winner and their relationship. So that is why I'm focusing on it. And that's why I'm talking about that specifically. Another thing I wanted to talk about is Mark says, we get some juicy tea from Mark in this episode. He essentially just says that he does trust his alliance of Kitty, Carrion, and Eden, aka the middle-aged mafia, but his main alliance and main priority is his trio with himself, Valeria, and Viola. And look, we saw last episode, Carrion was Mark's getting extremely close to the two girls, to the V's for Vendettas, the double V's. And I guess you were right, Carrion. Totally valid. But as I said last recap, obviously, that's not great that people that Carrion are noticing that Mark is not. You know what I mean? Like, it's not great that people are noticing that Mark's has other priorities or other things going on. Like, ideally, if you're gonna do that, you want to hide it. You want to not let anyone know that this is your main crew, or that you've got other stuff that you're willing to work with, I guess. Work on, work with. And I think that's gonna be an issue if it's this early in the game and people are already seeing that. I mean, I'm assuming it's only going to get worse as time goes on. So right now, the middle-aged mafia is probably going to have a falling out, which, no! Like, I was rooting for the middle-aged mafia, but for some reason it just seems like it just isn't happening. But we'll have to see how it turns out. Another thing we have to discuss is, so Ferris, during the Immunity Challenge last episode, him and Mark were not isolated, but they were by themselves for I'm not really sure how long because of the edit. Anyway, all you need to know is Ferris told Mark one-on-one and was like, yeah, there is a key. The box thing is real, because bloody who was it? Someone basically was like, yeah, there's a box on, I think it was Kelly, I don't know. Anyway, all you need to know is someone told, no, it was Ferris. Okay, so Ferris announced, he was like, there's a box heading at your camp. And then Mark proceeds to tell Ferris one-on-one, in the challenge, oh, by the way, I was being honest, there is a box thing. There's a box with the key, so don't not bother looking, because that was a lie. That's a genuine thing. And I understand why people might think that was a lie, but from my perspective is why would people lie about something like that? Like, what's the point? Like, okay, you're making them, I guess, cause chaos and speed up and try to be more divided, I guess, trying to cause that chaos in their camp. That's the only reason I can think of why why anyone would make something like that up. Past that, I don't really understand the whole point because it doesn't really benefit them to lie about it. I mean, these are people who you could want to work with going forward, and that is something that you're like, yeah. I mean, you have to keep your cards open and your cards open. Oh my god, you have to keep your cards close to your chest, and your options are open. You know that Kim's bragging. You've always got to have options. Another thing we're going to point out is I felt like, oh yeah, well, so Mark and Valeria and Viola, the three of them, we see for like a split second, I like, okay, we need to make sure one of us go to like the water well to refill water or whatever the hell they were doing. It doesn't matter. All you need to know is Valeria and Mark are away from the tribe, and they find the box. They find it, and then they hide it. They put sand on it. They put leaves on it. They cover it up because they don't have the key. And I was like, good, good to know. And then I was curious how heavy the box was. Like, I know, like, I understand it's a box, so it probably was heavy. But I'm just curious because, like, in the hypothetical scenario, if I could just pick it up and move it, I think that could have been something that could happen. But I understand that's risky because they didn't know if people were like following them or any of that. And that's the reason why they covered the box up so no one else would find it. Or ideally find it. Obviously, being a survivor, people are going to look for stuff, so we'll see if that changes or impacts anything. Another thing I wanted to point out was Valeria pre-season I definitely have underestimated because she when Mark and her were looking for the box, right before they found it, she was like, oh, it's not going to be up high, it's going to be on the ground. And you might say, okay, but logically, of course, it's going to be on the ground, it's a box. But Varys and none of the other rebels, from what I saw at least, said how big the box was or how heavy the box would be. So it could be a box that's this big, you know what I mean? Like, there's boxes that you can buy in the real world that are like this big and this thick. So to me, I was like, you know what? That's probably a good thing that you said that because you're not gonna waste time looking up in the sky for a box, and like it's not gonna be it's gonna be hard to attach a box massively. I don't know how big it was in person, but based on what we saw, like this wide, like it's gonna be like this wide. I think it's gonna be extremely hard to find it. So that's I mean that was my main point with that. I thought that was a good thing that she did. That Valeria did. Another thing I want to point out is like when we go into the reward challenge, it was a 1v1, okay? It was a 1v1 and great challenge. Oh my god. These challenges are getting bloody good. Like, I don't know what the production team is doing, but whatever you guys are doing, keep doing it. Because these challenges are good. These challenges aren't just like physical. These challenges aren't just like who can hold something the longest. Like most of these challenges, I say most because there are a few parts and challenges where it's like, you shouldn't have to just carry a bunch of stuff for a while or stand still holding a rope. I think those challenges could probably use a bit more work. But past that, like, I genuinely was like so impressed with the challenges ideas because you had like, it was a 2v2, and basically what you had to do was you have to knock each other's idols off in a 1v1. So let's say one rebel, one titan go up. They both have these two idols that are on like podium stands or whatever, and they have a rope that's attached to them and to their idols, and you have to try and knock the other person's two idols off from the other tribe without yours falling. So it creates this complicated strategy, and then later on we found out that Kirby ended up winning. Well, I mean, here's the thing: Rebels ended up winning, but it was I thought it was a really good reward challenge. I thought Kirby's strategy, it was ballsy, and I liked it. I thought it was really funny how I mean, I understand that's kind of what Kirby does in the AFL. So, yeah, I think it definitely helped her because she was like, okay, I'm willing to use one of my own to benefit myself because Kirby literally went up, she actively knew, or I'm assuming she knew that she would use one, and she literally just knocked it off, walked up to her, knocked it off, and then the other person, I forgot who she was versing, the other person literally came up, was trying to grab her to pull her over, because the easiest way to win is to just grab the person and pull them over to your side, and both of the idols, because it's like this and this, the idols. So, from opposing sides. So, let's say it's like this and this. It'd be two here and here, and here and here. And I was like, that's great. That's amazing. Good job. Keep doing what you're doing. Then Kirby decides she is going... Oh, sorry, my bad. Anyways, all you need to know is Kirby ended up winning. And she... Not for her tribe. Someone else won. Raymond won for his tribe. Yeah, Raymond won for his tribe. And I was like, let's go. Oh my god, Rebels, because if you don't know, I'm rooting for the Rebels this season. Even though I was worried pre-season that Titans would have the winner. Just because logically I think Rebels are more likely to fuck up to have a self-implosion. And that's the way I was looking at my pre-season draft. Another thing I wanted to point out was, so we got some family content for a few people, like Ferris and like Kirby and like Eileen, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I guess. I mean, I don't really care. Like the family content isn't something I care about. But all it does is give Alex more scoring time, which makes me more confident that Alex is going to win this season, because every bloody episode, all we ever hear is from Alex's perspective, which isn't a bad thing. I understand you want to have your winner. If Alex is the winner of this season, you want to have him shown. But at the same time, this editing, I feel like, kind of gives it away. So they need to, if Alex does end up winning this season, producers in the future, maybe change up the editing. just change it up, like the new era of Survivor. Just change the editing, make the editing different, because otherwise people like me, who have been watching Survivor for a decade or more, will know who's going to win by episode 5. And the past few seasons, I knew who was winning with the it's not great. I mean, I'll say this: last season with Years, I didn't know she was winning until maybe Merge, I would say. After that, for Hero vs. Villains, edit was good. For Blood vs. Water, the edit was pretty. It was way too obvious, let's be honest. The whole story was revolved around Mark and Sam. It was so obvious Mark was going to win. Another thing was, in Brain vs. Brawn, Hayes' edit from episode 4 or 5. That's when I realized Hay was going to win. So just change the editing. It'll be better TV. it'll be better for you guys because you won't have half the fandom being like, oh my god, Alex is gonna win. Another thing, and I know from a game standpoint, Alex is not in a good position. Alex has been on the bottom. Alex has lost his two of his three closest alliance members and allies. Like, bro, they're not even called the Cuddle Crew anymore. They're just the Cuddle because they can only cuddle once because it's just him and Sarah. Another thing to point out is Kirby talks about Ferris being dangerous. And I'm like, yeah, agreed. I mean, after the Lost Tribal Council, Kelly was either calling him the smiling assassin. And we've seen in previous seasons that Champions vs. Contenders that, like, for Champions vs. Contenders too, that, like, nicknames like the Godfather and the Godmother will stick with people and people will keep using it. Or they'll be like Dirty Harry. Like, these nicknames will stick around and create really just a target on your back. I mean, essentially, that's all it's going to do. So we go into the immunity challenge, and Titans win. The immunity challenge was basically just like an obby obstacle course. So if you say Roblox, you would know what I'm talking about. If you don't say Roblox, imagine like a Ninja Warrior. It was kind of like that, but instead there wasn't like a bunch of water underneath. It was just like, make sure you don't fall. Even though it wasn't like, oh, I have to grab onto this wall with all my strength. It was literally just like, okay, build a steep with some puzzle pieces, climb onto puzzle pieces, go down the steep, puzzle pieces, go across this log with puzzle pieces. That's literally all the challenge was. It wasn't like really intense. So like you have to be a physical base to do the challenge. I assure you. And then like I could have done that challenge very easily. Anyways, yeah, so Titans win immunity, and normally I would give a more deep dive into the tribal council, voting that was going to happen. However, apparently, I say apparently, but definitely, we go to tribal council. Well, before we go to tribal council, we go to the rebels camp. Obviously, rebels have lost. People are saying that, well, first of all, Kirby's gunning for Ferris. Kirby wants Ferris gone. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, as you do. I mean, you've already broken trust with Ferris before, even though if we're thinking about it from like a logical standpoint of like, you ideally want to stick with your 8 that I've been talking about, which is everyone minus Alex and Sarah, because originally had all these people like Rihanna and Kirby and Kelly not gone and done their own rogue shit. Those 8 would maybe not be solid because 8 is a lot of people, but they would at least be together enough to where in the event of a swap, which is coming up, they won't break up. And that is something where people seem to have just, I don't know, forgotten that like they're going to swap at some point. They're going to, and it's the same with like what I was bringing up in previous recaps where people were like screaming the dumbest shit. Like, I don't want to say that because that sounds really bad, but yeah, from a strategic standpoint of view, like people like Jaden, I literally have this noted down in my phone. Jaden literally was screaming, enjoy your cupcakes after the Titans won the immunity challenge and laughing. And I was like, what a dumb thing to scream out. Look, I understand you won. I understand it probably hurt your ego that you guys didn't get the food and the birthday party and the cupcakes. I get that. But from like a strategic point of view, if I'm a rebel and I hear someone like Jaden scream out, I'm just thinking to myself, oh, he's going to be Titan strong. Like, what are you doing? You're literally cutting off your options for potential allies going forward. Like, yes, I understand that's just one statement, but as I've said before, Survivor perception is reality, and if people perceive you as the person who literally will go up to someone and be like, "Oh, you have this is what Jaden said about us. He's like mocking us about him winning immunity." Like to me, it's like, or like Viola being like, "Not today, Rebels, not today." Like to me, it might seem like banter, but it's not banter. It's not banter. You're literally showing people, hi, this is my priorities. And I don't think you should be doing that. I just think it's horrible. It's horrible gameplay. And you'll need to stop being so vocal about, like, winning stuff or, like, your rivalries. Like, just, like, I don't want to tell you to shut up because that's rude, but, like, go to sleep. like, I don't know what's going on. Literally, like, I don't know what's happening. But, like, shush. Oh my god. So, yeah, we see Kirby's throwing out Ferris's name at Rebels camp. We also see Ferris find out about it through Alex. Alex tells Ferris and Garrick about it. And what does Ferris decide to do? Ferris is like, oh, well, like, fuck that. And also, I really trusted Kirby. Which, what? You trusted Kirby? Why did you... Ferris, how did you trust Kirby? Her and Brianna literally went rogue the first tribal council you guys attended. What do you mean you trusted Kirby? Yes, you voted together. Josh tribal council with the whole like split vote plan that Eileen came up with, but also what the fuck? Like, I genuinely don't understand. I don't get it. Like to me, if someone says they're gonna do something and then they don't do it, that's a red flag. That is a concerning thing that you need to think about. But I can go in a whole rant about that on a different live right now or video. That's not what the main focus is on. The main focus is that Ferris and Kirby are now gunning for each other. Whoop de fucking do. The promos are like, oh my god, Ferris versus Kirby. And that's what's coming out in the episode tonight. The promos are all just being like, which side are you on? Look, here's my take on their rivalry. I feel like Ferris is going. I think Ferris is not more logical because I understand what Kirby was trying to do with the whole trying to stay under the radar, be friends with everyone, blah blah. I feel like Ferris is going to use the battle between the two of them. Ferris is going to use the battle between Kirby and Ferris. That's my prediction. Because Kirby has more people on her side, or at least from my perspective. Well, here's the thing. I feel like it could be Kirby tonight, but at the same time, like for the episode 6 that's coming out in like an hour and a half, I understand that it's like I'm kind of wavering on which one I think it is, but I genuinely feel like here's the thing. If you're Eileen and Scott and like Raymond and if you're those three, if they are actually thinking about what's in their best interest, the three of them are going to be thinking, okay, who has proven our trust? Ferris has done what he said he was going to do to us multiple times. Kirby has gone rogue. So to me, if I had to pick between Ferris and Kirby, I know that I pretty much a lot of the time I've been saying like, oh, I don't like Ferris. Like when it comes to the game, I feel like he's going to play too hard. He's going to blow his game up. Look, he very well could do that at some point. However, I don't believe. Well, I feel like Ferris has more allies, but if we're looking at the game perspective, despite Kirby putting herself out there by accident, I feel like Ferris is is going to have a harder time getting past this round and going forward. Because as much as Kirby is seen as like not a use cannon, but someone who kind of went rogue for no reason, I just feel like Ferris isn't. It's just like gut feeling. I just feel like Ferris's longevity in this game is not that far. You don't want to be called the Smiling Assassin episode 4, bro. Like, no. You don't want to be that guy who takes his shirt off with an idol underneath. Like, at a tribal. Like, if I meet any of those people, I'd be like, put your shirt on. Like, stop causing chaos. Sit down. But, yeah, I mean, going forward, I think Varus is probably going to use the battle between the two of them. So I'm Team Kirby, because Kirby, Princess knows that Kirby's not going to be someone I'm rooting for, and I don't understand why everyone's so hyped about Kirby, because I feel like everyone knows that Kirby's a threat. But, I mean, Ferris literally is going around trying to be George. So, who would you rather work with, a George impersonator or Kirby from Smash Bros? Oh my god. Oh, by the way, everything I say is no hate to any of the players. It's just my perspective on like the game as a whole. So I'm alright, yeah, so they're gunning for each other, the two of them gunning for each other. We go into sorry, I had a mind blank there. We go into so basically now people are like wanting to throw out Rihanna's name because Rihanna and Kirby are close. Which like I need more context. I need more Rihanna content as well, because we've been hearing a lot from Kirby, but I'm not getting much from Rihanna. So editing team, if you could do that before Rihanna or Kirby get to Final 2 or get the or Final 3 or one of them gets eliminated, that'd be great, because I don't understand. I don't know. I'm curious why there was talks about going for Rihanna over Kirby. Maybe it was challenges. Maybe it was Kirby's a bigger threat. She'll be targeted later on. Maybe it's we have a better relationship with Kirby. I want to understand why. From a strategic point of view, I want to know why. I think it's better TV. Another thing we have to point out is, a lot of people are really pissed off at Kelly for just like completely bombing the challenge and not knowing when to stop and to just do what's best for the team. But, I mean, look, I understand wanting to give it a crack. I mean, that's Australia for you. These people will be lazy, but then when they don't want you to be lazy, when people want you to be lazy, you won't be lazy. But when you are lazy, people want you to put in effort. So I mean, I thought that was kind of ironic. But no, I don't blame Kelly. I get it. But there is a certain point where you have to step back from your ego or what you think your abilities are. That look, this isn't working. I need to do what's best in order for us to win. So we go. So you might be thinking, okay, so this is going to be like a QC Tribal Council, right? This is going to be epic. We're going to see like some blindside. We're going to see like some great TV between Kirby and Ferris. It's like, nah, sorry. That was halted. That was cancelled. Come back next episode. Because instead, we get to Tribal Council, and everyone's just like, and Jonathan's just like, before we vote, we're actually voting who gets to go to the other tribe. And quote sabotage. And I was like, sabotage? Didn't they use the challenge? Why are they getting rewarded? that was my first point of view. Another thing was I was at the Melbourne event with Johnny Fairplay and George, and a few of the people there were also like, why are they getting rewarded for failing? And yeah, I mean, I think they just kind of forgot that they lost. The production team just kind of forgot, so instead they were just like, sabotage. I don't really know. But that was something I just wanted to point out. Another thing, So yeah, we go, and then everyone's like, okay, we got to change our vote. Let's vote Kelly because she's the most likable or whatever. She's most likely to get in with them. And also probably because people didn't want to live with Kelly based on the edit, because we see people like Garrick be like, oh, can we just vote her out already? Blah, 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 whatever. So yeah, we go into Tribal, and let me just read the vote. I believe, from what I recall, it was a unanimous vote at Tribal Council for Kelly to go to the other tribe. Which in that case, yeah, cool. Strange Survivor Rebels vs Titans. I know what you're thinking. Why don't you like check the votes beforehand? I didn't check the votes beforehand because like it takes a minute. It's not that long. Yeah, it was 9-1. It was unanimous for Kelly to go to the other tribe. And yeah, I mean, we saw the promo, and it was really funny. The promo was that Kelly walking into camp being like, "Hiya!" And I'm like, "Oh my god." I'm a little nervous for Nathan, because Kelly was asking him about if she has a boyfriend. Has a girlfriend. Oh my god, sorry. Um, yeah, asking Nathan if he has a boyfriend. Yeah, no, sorry. Asking Nathan if he has a girlfriend, and if he was single. And Nathan confirmed he was single. And then Kelly was like, well, just give me one night with him, Jonathan, one night. But jokes aside, though, I thought the episode was pretty decent. I'm happy how they did the non-elimination. I'm really happy that we didn't just get someone voted out and them instantly coming back into the game. I'm happy we didn't get some like redemption rock bull crap where it's like, oh yeah, this person's eliminated, but they have a chance to come back into the game. No, once your torch is snuffed, you should be eliminated. That's how I see the game. That's my morals as a Survivor fan. The whole point is to not get voted out. So I don't like. Yes, is Hay a good? Do I like Hay as a player? Yes. Do I think Hay is cool? Yes. Do I think Hay is one of the best players to ever play in Survivor? Yes. Do I think Hay definitely got should have won that season for Angus Braun? No, because she was eliminated. But anyways, yeah, I mean that's about it. I genuinely like this episode, and then tonight we have Ferris vs Kirby, and then watch the Titans win use immunity challenge. I could totally see them doing that, or them being like, well, technically, 4 people have gone home. So they could potentially do a swap, even though normally they swap with um, the 5th round. Well, after the 5th round of Australian Survivor, I've noticed that, or the 6th round. But hey, I mean, we'll have to see how it turns out. I just don't understand the sabotaging thing. It doesn't make sense to me. They lost the immunity challenge. Why are they getting to sabotage someone? And yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about sending Kelly from a strategic standpoint because she's kind of a loose cannon when it comes to like, the game. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it turns out. Either way, I'm really liking this season. It's a way out better than I thought it was going to be pre-season. I was optimistic, I was hopeful, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how it turns out. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all another day, whether it's tomorrow or in a few days when I recap episode 6. All right, peace out.